Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Getting to like you, getting to hope you like me.
Who are you? Who
I'm
is
Carla.
me? I'm Arlaana, and we are
Don't Mess with the Mommas.
Mommas with our motto.
You are the protagonist of your life, not the victim of your destiny.
Take it away.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about food.
For thought.
For thought.
For thought.
What food does, how you can share it, and how to make friends.
Friends are really important.
They are.
We're friends.
We're friends.
For life.
Yeah, for life.
For next life too.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
All right, so this is we're in season 2, episode 5. That means we've done a year and 5 weeks.
Okay, very good, very good.
We post or publish every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So food is important.
Oh, yes, it is.
And it's because everybody has to eat.
Mm-hmm.
There's a biological connection. Mm-hmm. So when you feed somebody, it transcends all linguistic barriers, political barriers, and triggers this biological mechanism that makes us connected. It's really amazing. Also, when you eat together, you go from a feeling of competition to collaboration. It's just a natural phenomenon that takes place in the body, you know. Sorry to look at some notes here. And when you're eating together, you become vulnerable, and hopefully you're not so vulnerable that, I know my mother always told me, if you go out on a date, never order lamb chops because it's greasy and sticky and it gets between your teeth. But anyway, but it is important to make yourself, make yourself, sorry.
Little malfunction.
A malfunction. She got so excited that she dropped her microphone, but I'll keep on talking, no problem there. And we become so much more relaxed. And when you're at a table together, you're not like, there's no hierarchy, unless you're like somewhere fancy schmancy and there's like a banquet going on and stuff. And we'll talk about the history in a minute, you know, how historically food was used to show the ending of war.
Right.
You know, we can talk about that. And just, I know I'm talking a little bit a lot, because we had 2 restaurants. And at our first restaurant, on Thanksgiving, our restaurant was small. The first restaurant was small, the second one way too big. But the first restaurant only had 6 tables. And we were the only ones open on holidays because we needed the money. So the 6 tables, I asked people, is it okay for you to share your meal with a stranger?
Yes.
And Thanksgiving brings up all sorts of feelings of, you know, caring and uniting and stuff. And we did that, and there wasn't any problem whatsoever. And they made, you know, friends for life. You know, it's like, I know that people said, okay, I'll meet you here again next year. We'll dine again next year. So, you know, dining together, eating together really unites people and makes them forget about the separation, that we're more connected than we are unconnected.
It's if sharing food is ancient. It's ancient. We're wired to share it, and the sharing is cooperation.
Yes.
You know, it also tells the other person that you're safe with me. You know, we're safe together because we're sharing this meal, and I take seriously. Nietzsche said that you're responsible for your province.
Nichiren Daishonin is the original Buddha who first chanted Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So if we refer to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said you're responsible for your province, for your people, you know, and even though my neighbors aren't Buddhists, I'm still responsible for how am I going to take care of my community, you know? And I just treat them like they're members. They're human beings. What could be the problem? What could be the problem? So I made a dinner, and a young man came over. We sat down, we ate, And I'm trying to get him to come again with his girlfriend and sit down and eat again, and get to know her, get to know I asked, what does she like? And he said, any kind of music that she can dance to. So I'll make a list. So it's building some sort of
That's great.
connection. And the other thing, it's the giving, the sharing, and keeping that circle going. It's an ecosystem that you're building, one meal at a time. And it's also like an audition. So you invite the person over, you see what they're about. Maybe that's the only meal you'll share with them, depending on how they act. Do they wolf it down? Do they just look at the food? Do they just, things like that. So, and I've seen I had so much food left over from serving him that I was able to give to my other neighbor. And she loved it, and with some chicken salad. And she gave me blueberries.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
Yeah.
it's giving,
Yeah.
receiving, and keeping
Yes.
it going.
Yes.
And you just get to know somebody gently, because everybody lives in different kind of communities. Maybe you've never dealt with these kind of people before or shared anything with, but you open yourself up.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And something I found out, and I love what you do, because in the olden days, you'd always hear people going to their next door neighbor, borrowing a cup of sugar. So that was the thing, right? So we don't do that anymore, we really don't do that anymore.
My neighbor came and asked me, did I have milk? I didn't have any, but I had half and half, so I gave it to her.
And that's wonderful. That's how you're really building a community. There's something called sensory synchronization, that when you feed somebody like a hot, something spicy, you're experiencing the spice at the same time. You really develop like a unity. You break down barriers, and all this oxytocin, the love hormone, is released. That's why people, dates. If you're going on a date, what do? You go out to eat. Hopefully not eat lamb chops, but you go out to eat, or you have somebody over, as you were saying, and young people, they'll come over your house if you say that you're going to make a meal, right?
Right.
And we talked about ancient times. There's something, and I love this, something called a convivium in Roman times. When it was time to create peace, like no more war, they had something called a convivium. And that was a big banquet. And that was the sign that no more war, time for peace. And we would always joke, having had restaurants, all you have to do is bring the world leaders together, give them an amazing meal with a bunch of chocolate afterwards, and there's no way that they can argue with each other after that.
No.
The other thing is, and I totally forgot about this, but in 1972, when Nixon went to China for a rapprochement, to unite the countries at that time, there was something called chopstick diplomacy. Nixon learned how to use a chopstick, which, by the way, chopsticks are much nicer than silverware because they're wood, they don't get cold or anything. Anyway, but that's a personal feeling. But chopstick diplomacy, because he learned how to use chopstick, they felt so open. He really opened up, that culture. Because if he made the effort to do that, then, really they had more in common than they had not in common. And then there's also something in Niger was used for, diplomacy, food as diplomacy, because when they realized that there's an economic advantage not to fight each other, but to cooperate with each other and, share in the agricultural produce, that really created peace. And then there was a project in Haifa, Israel. This is really cool, that people from the Arab nations and the Jewish nations, or Israel in particular, would have they would be united with a chef, an Israeli chef, and the chef would actually help prepare all these meals from the past, from the distant past, So that really brought up that tradition, that culture, a feeling of family, feeling of caring, feeling of upbringing that really united them. So I have to ask you, what's your comfort food? Because people always remember their comfort food because that's when they were younger and there was something. Hopefully, people do have comfort food that they were nurtured with certain kinds of food, right?
Well, fried chicken is definitely a comfort food.
But you didn't have that when you were little, right?
No,
But
probably potato chips.
okay.
Junk food is my comfort food.
Oh, okay.
All right, I love it. But a sandwich, a ham sandwich, cheese, cheese and fruit.
All right. So totally not from the past, not from when you were little.
No,
No, this
stuff.
is not.
Yeah,
Okay.
but my mother taught us how to eat everything. She taught us how to eat clams on the half shell.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Wow.
I can't do that now because I could get poisoned. But I love that she taught us how to eat crabs. For a person who didn't have any money, crabs,
Right.
clams. She didn't do oysters, but shrimp. I mean, I just
Wow.
wonderful. The thing about food is when you're eating, this vagus nerve, okay, that runs down the back of your brainstem, goes through your chest, your lungs, your stomach, your digestive system. When you're stressed, you don't digest your food. But when you're sitting and you're comfortable and you feel safe, then everything works. So it's psychological, it's biological, it's sociological, there's history to it, and that's how we share. And it's not just people who do this, it's also animals too, that they share. If they see somebody gobbling up a lot of food out their bowl, you're not coming to near this
Not going
bowl
to my
again.
table
No,
again.
no. So, but that whole thing about giving, receiving, and keeping it going, and the more you can incorporate people into your life, you develop a feeling for them. They develop a feeling for you, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
There can be nothing wrong with that, And we're strangers, but we don't have to remain that way.
Right.
You
But
know,
nobody's really a
a
stranger.
bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anything.
Anything.
Right? Anything. I know my comfort food when I was little was rice pudding. But my mother made the hardest rice pudding ever. You cut it, and now it should be gooey and whatever. But I think that our memories, when we think about pleasant memories, it's always connected to
some sort of food.
Bad memories could be connected to food too. I did this with my students in psychology, and I asked them what food they can't deal with today. And it went back to when they were little, they ate too much of it, they got nauseous, or it was linked to some kind of a negative, experience. So food, of course, is at the bottom of everything,
Yeah.
So we make ourselves vulnerable when we eat together. We just share. We're just sharing and caring, So please have meals together.
Yeah.
Unite together. It doesn't matter what your background. How do we learn about cultures? I mean, why do people love to go to New York? Because you can get any type of food imaginable. And people love that. People love to share in cultures, right? The food from different cultures. So why not share the human lives from different cultures?
Right.
If we love their food, we got to love the people,
Right,
I mean,
right.
that would really break all the negativity and the disparity
Right.
between us, among us.
And you can your neighbors living next door. You can just go over to knock on the door, bring them a bowl.
Yeah.
All right, something that you don't have to worry about. Having to get it back. Here's a plate of food for you. Here's a bean salad. Here's a pasta salad. Here's something.
Absolutely.
And they remember that and they'll reciprocate.
Yes, and that's how we create these bonds of friendship. Strangers are just temporary, right?
You don't have to be a stranger forever.
Right, for sure. So you want to share something really wonderful?
Let's see. When we share food, we are not just feeding a body. We are telling a soul, you matter. I see you. I care about you. There's enough here for everybody. And we're good together. So that's the only thing I can tell you right now.
So Food for thought.
Food for thought.
And tell us what your experiences are with food. We'd love to hear that. Mommas, mommas.podcast@gmail.com. Oh, a comment. So Kiko, I can't wait to meet Kiko someday. Kiko said, congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. And when we interviewed Boaz, this was called Words from Our Future. It was 16-year-old. She said, Boaz is an insightful young man. He's our future, and he gives me hope. That was really great. So don't forget, we publish every Wednesday, and we are
Don't mess
with
with
the
the
Mommas,
Mommas.
MOMMAS, with our motto,
You are the protagonist of your life, not the victim of your destiny.
You can find us on all platforms. You could see us, you could hear us, you could tune us out, but listen to us again. you could look at us and say, ugh. But
No, we're beautiful.
No, we're beautiful. Even we're getting on in age, but we're beautiful.
we're beautiful old
You're
ladies.
always beautiful.
Yes,
We're
yes.
beautiful old ladies. Absolutely. Yay. So
Yes.
goodbye for now.
Now.
See you later.
I don't
I don't know
know.
the song.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.